Hello there, and Happy New Year, vinyl community. JorgenS here, in a little bit of a party mood, because it is the final video of 2016, and it's time to do a summary of the year that had been passing by. Of course, it had been a sad year when it comes to all of these persons that have passed away during this year. We had just recently George Michael, and I will do tribute in form of a top 10 of George Michael's best songs later on. I didn't have the time to do it now, but I will do it soon enough. We had George Michael, as I said. We have Prince, we have had Morris White, David Bowie, Pete Burns from Dead or Alive, Glenn Frey, a whole lot of persons that have unfortunately passed away this year. I may have forgotten somebody, but a lot of persons. But for me personally, it has been a glorious year, a total fantastic year. 2016 when it comes to buying records. It is amazing. It's feel like I have been setting a personal record when it comes to the total of records that I've been buying this year. 2011 was another year that was pretty huge, but I think 2016 has been even bigger. So well dressed for the celebration, New Year's hat, and I'm going to do my annual top 10 over the best findings of this year. Not the easiest thing to do actually, because I have found so much great stuff, especially during the autumn, that was totally fantastic. So it was a very, very tough job, but I had to do it. And there are some records that were so great but didn't make it to top 10 because I had to do some eliminations in order to do a top 10. But let's take a little look at a mix of records, various records that I've been finding during 2016 that were just outside of this top 10. That is what it had looked like during this year. The year in vinyl community has been really, really interesting, especially since I got the iPhone and was able to shoot outside and do some videos from when I've been in Stockholm, when I've been in Hudiksvall, at the record fair. It's been really fun to do these videos, a little like a dream come true to be able to film outside and do this kind of videos. So it's been really, really great year for vinyl community also. I don't want to do any personal shout outs because I don't want to leave anybody out, but I want to thank each and every subscriber that I have at this moment. Thank them for a fantastic year. for the inspiration that all of these persons that I'm subscribing to and that I've been following and got new ideas. So now let's go through the top 10. But I will also have, of course, as usual, the prize to the best song of this year, the worst finding of this year, as usual. But let's start with the top 10 and from the beginning.
Number 10.
A record that I bought in February at a second-hand store here in Sundsvall called Fyndlagret. And I was pretty amazed to find this one, especially for the low price of $250, around that. Gary Moore, the Platinum Collection, 3 CD set, one containing his more hard rock oriented stuff from the 80s, one with a blues record from the 90s, and one live album. Amazing box set that stunned me when I found it, and I was so happy to find it. This ultimate collection from this guitar guru, one of the best guitar players ever in music business.
Number 9.
Number 9 takes us back to January, when I was at Erasure-song. Didn't remember the place where I did my first outside shooting. And it's a record that very happy to find, because it's a bootleg. I don't find bootlegs all that much, but this one was very happy. I was very happy to find. Audiovisual from 1992, live bootleg with Erasure on CD. Listen to it, and it is, for a bootleg, a pretty good sound quality, actually, really good.
Number 8.
Number 8 is from the Spring Record Fair in April, where I was very happy to find a record that I've been with a band that I've been searching for almost my entire life, and finally found it. A new wave synth band that I heard one song by when I was a kid, What in the Name of Love, and I wanted so long to have an album with this band, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Totally impossible, since this band was never a big success here in Sweden. Talking about Naked Eyes, Fuel for the Fire, from 1984. A real explosion of great synth pop and new wave, and mixed with relaxing and cool new wave stuff, and explosive dance tracks like What in the Name of Love. Really fantastic, and really happy to finally have a Naked Eyes album in my collection.
Number 7.
Number 7 is a pretty new one. I ordered it from the web shop JorgenS in October, and it was a record that with a band that I finally also got. Tried to order them from JorgenS last year, but they didn't have it in their store then. I never got the record. But now, finally, I found a record by, and this one is pretty recent release record, with a British synth pop band, Chvrches, and the album Every Open Eye. Their latest album released last autumn in 2015, I think. This is a special edition also that contains a limited edition that contains bonus tracks. A really great Getaway, really great song. This is really example in great new synth pop, danceable and fresh, but at the same time following the tradition of synth pop, with fantastic singer Lauren Mayberry. Has a really cute and great voice, and highly recommended album if you want some new synth pop that sounds very much 2016, but at the same time follows the tradition of how good synth pop should sound like.
Number 6.
And that is an album that I bought in March at Red Cross here in Sundsvall. I was very surprised when that Red Cross, I go in and check for records, but rarely find anything because it's most likely typical flea market stuff, and they hardly ever get new records in there. But I was very surprised when they all of a sudden got an deal of interesting jazz albums, and I took a shot and did a blind buy of this one, Scott Hamilton Scandinavian 5, live at Nefertiti. And Nefertiti is a jazz club in Gothenburg. He plays here with a Swedish musician, Ulf Akenius, famous guitar player, Jan Lundgren piano, Jesper Bodilsen bass, and he's from Denmark, and Christian Leth drums, is also from Denmark. It's a musician from Sweden and from Denmark. This is a 2-record set. One is a DVD and one is a CD with the concert. And the concert is really, really great. Fantastic, great swing music and relaxing, and a whole lot of great groove, and to also be able to see the concert at a DVD also is really fantastic, and maybe one of the best newer recorded jazz album that I have. Let's do a little break by do a nomination for the best song of 2016. As everybody know, I don't listen all that much to new music, but I'm trying my best to keep myself a bit updated, at least with the older artists and their new albums, and I'm trying also to discover some new artists. And there's one band that I discovered last year, actually, for the first in 2015, but I've continued to do great music even this year. And they actually get the award for best song of 2016, and they are a Swedish Italove disco band. They called Italove, and it's a band that with a little mysterious image, who does classic 80s Italo disco in the same style like Biltmore or Scotch or like Den Harrow or something like that. There's a lot of artists who does that, who tries to do 80s dance music style to this, even to this date. But many of them aren't all that good. It's great produced, but many of them lacks of the hit feeling that it was typical for the Eurodance. That special refrain, the special melody that knocks you in the head and gets stuck like a glue. But Italove, they managed to also combine great production, 80s sounding style with the 2015 around it, with a fantastic melody that really is amazing that they haven't gotten any real hit yet. Unfortunately, here in Sweden they aren't all that known. But a song that they released this year, Heading for the Sun, was a real knockout, a real dance knockout that sounded like a hit that could have been a huge hit back in 1986 or 87. And really awesome produced and really great melody that really sticks in your head like a glue. Of course, I'm leaving a link, YouTube links in the description area for its artists and this song, so you can check out for yourself. But the song of the year 2016 is Heading for the Sun by Swedish Italove. So let's go back to the chart. We're at number 5, I think. And number 5, I Can't Hold Up. There are a little bit many. It is around 30 records, 30-40 records sharing one place. I had a little trouble with what I'm going to do with this, but I felt I wanted to mention it. We had a store here in Sundsvall that was shut down, unfortunately, that was selling records. It was mainly the video store that was selling DVDs and videos, VHS movies. But they also had was selling records also in smaller parts. But they were shut down this year, and they had a sell-off for the records, and they had a huge part of jazz records, this store called Videodrome. And a huge part of big band and early jazz records. And when they shut down and had a sell-out for these records, I took a chance and bought as many interesting records as I could. With big bands, with a whole lot of bands that I didn't have any records with before, artists that I had no idea what they were. They were blind buys of totally unknown big band leaders, but that I felt like I wanted to give it a try. Live recordings, of course, double CD sets. It was a fantastic moment to be able to buy all of these jazz CDs. But I can't hold them up, of course, all 40 at once, but I took a picture of all of them. So here is place number 4. Maybe the best buying moment of this year. At least the moment when I bought the most records. The jazz CDs from Videodrome at place number 5.
Number 4.
It's a special release. Swedish band that have been mentioned a couple of times. Blues rock band Wilmer X. And a box that I found in April, and the price was amazing. I only paid $5 for it, for this magnificent 4 CD box, Archive X, or as it's translated, the X-Files. 3 of them containing their best hits, and 1 record containing previously unreleased songs. Really magnificent box for a very low price. Very, very happy to find this very, very special release. The record that left me most disappointed. There have been some. But I think the one that left me most disappointed was a single that from the first I was very happy to find it. It only costed me 10 cents. And I thought, wow, a single by Smithereens. Amazing. I gotta have this one. I was thinking, is that a girl or is it the male singer a little bit over with a little too much makeup? stupid enough, I didn't check it. I just bought it. Okay, it wasn't 10 cents for 10 cents, but the album was, the single's title was, the English isn't all that good in this one. You is a Guarantee for Love is the name of the single, and not the, was surprised that I had so bad the English in the title. Turned out that this is not the Smithereens. This is just Smithereens. The Smithereens that does great indie rock music is the Smithereens. This band is just called Smithereens and is from Holland. Does 80s pop music. They released on something called Idiot Records, and I think that is just what I've thought when I heard this. It was an idiot record. This single was nothing near the real Smithereens. It was uninteresting 80s pop. Normally that 80s pop, of course, I would love it, but the melody was totally uninteresting. Production was left me uninterested. So I thought this was the great indie rock band Smithereen. Turned out to be a lousy Dutch 80s pop band with the same name. So this one goes down the drain.
Number 3.
Metal positions. Number 3 goes also to more than one record, but this time is a little bit lesser. It is connected with one of the year's most tragic passings, David Bowie, who passed away in the beginning of this year. And before he died, I had thought that I would start to check out more and more of David Bowie from the 70s. I got very interested when I heard some tracks from Ziggy Stardust, and it sounded really good. So I thought that I want to give David Bowie from the 70s a real good shot to see what it sounds like. And I had no idea how lucky I would be when I'm in August was able to find 5 David Bowie records from the 70s. 6 even. 6 David Bowie records from at the same time. From the 70s. I was totally shocked to find Diamond Dogs, Young Americans, Hunky Dory, Low, Space Oddity, and The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. I've actually listened to all of these now, and they are really good, all of them. Some, of course, a little lower, but still they are really good. But my favorite still is Ziggy Stardust, that I think is an amazing album. Number 2 is Hunky Dory, also a fantastic album that I love very, very much. Number 3 is Low, I think, a very experimental but still very, very good album.
Number 2.
Number 2 is from my Stockholm visit, and let me show you a little from that Stockholm video, how I looked like when I found this Lennie Tristano album.
This is freaking unbelievable. It took me almost 5 minutes.
And I was sitting at the metro thinking that they're finding Lennie Tristano here. How happy I would be. And it took me not even 5 minutes until I found this one for only 60 kronor, around $5-6. This is unbelievable. This is new Tristano. It's a little later, but solo recordings.
Me gonna like this.
Was I happy or was I happy? It was a really fantastic moment when I sat on the metro thinking that, hoping that I would find a Lennie Tristano album, because Lennie, this pianist, jazz pianist, is very hard to find at vinyl, at least for a low price. And I went into the record fair at Solna, and all of a sudden it didn't take me 5 minutes until I found this one for $5. $15. No, $5. And I was extremely happy. So of course, and this is a great, big lesson in great piano style. Really magnificent piano solo album. Totally unpredictable, but at the same time it sounds traditional in the ground, in the bottom. So really highly recommended Lennie Tristano, the new Tristano. So, there's only one thing left.
And finally, number 1.
It's interesting when I think of David Bowie is that to see what artists that I have gotten more of, that I have been developed an interest for through this year. It's a lot of artists that I have been discovered big time, and I had a Q&A in the during the spring when I had my 200 subscribers, and one question was which artist from the 70s I would like to search more for, to dig deeper for. And I said Carpenters, I said David Bowie, and I said Blood, Sweat and Tears. And all of these three I have found a lot of records by and discovered big. So my wish came true. And number 1, of course, is from Hudiksvall, when I was there in November, beginning of November, and went to a record, the only store that looks like a record store, pretty similar to Videodrome, but maybe a bit more focused on records, Boa Video, and there I managed to find this. This is Collector's Limited Edition, Carpenters Transmission, Enhanced CD and book set. This is a live CD from 1972, really great one, relaxing, and Karen Carpenter, fantastic voice, and it also contains video clips from this concert, not the entire concert, but 4 video clips, 3 video clips from this concert. And it also contains a book with interviews and biography of the Carpenters. And I paid only $5 for this. And I was extremely happy. Very hard to get Carpenters studio albums overall here in Sweden, and all of a sudden I found a collector's limited edition on CDs. So this one is my number 1 finding of 2016. I don't have any kind of expectations that 2017 will be just as good. I mean, all of my formats that I mainly collect, vinyl singles, CDs, even CD singles, have been going up in my collection this year. I've been finding a lot of everything, all genres, jazz, 80s pop, 70s, soul and funk, everything has risen to the top, and I've got find a whole lot of all genres. So I have no expectations that 2017 will be nearly as good as this year, but hopefully it will be pretty good anyway. So with that, I wish each and every one of you a very happy new year. I hope that you all get what you want during this new year, that not all that many artists will, just as many artists will die during this year, and that it will be a good record year 2017. So take care, happy new year, and don't drink too much.